All right. Thanks for joining me. Um, I'm just going to be, I guess, as a little introduction, I'm just going to be live streaming my work moving forward in the future. I got a bunch of stuff to build, a bunch of demos for Remix, docs, educational courses for it. Um, and most days I'll just be streaming for an hour or two with the little bits that I'm working on. So yeah, this is the first one. If you came to the live stream last week, you'll remember this little app that we built here. Make some little projects, yo, and then inside of here we can add some tasks, 1, 2, etc. So I actually have a little personal project planner like this that I built several years ago that I've been using for many years, and it's time to upgrade it. And I'm going to build it new. I'm going to build it on Remix, and I'm going to add some features that I want. So there's going to be a calendar on here. I'm going to be able to assign my tasks to certain days. And yeah, I'll just be building it over the course of the next few weeks inside of here. So there's going to be a lot of stumbling along the way. I don't know what I'm doing all the time. I'm going to be using things I haven't used before, and I'm not going to be doing any research or anything before these. It's just, if you're bored or just want to kind of see what I'm working on, you can tune into these things. But I was talking to Kent C. Dodds, and one of the reasons he likes to live stream is he says just keeps him on task. And it's true. If there's something like you got to get done, if you have an audience, it's a whole lot easier. And anyway, hopefully it's fun for you and you learn a couple things about Remix and web development along the way and React. So the first thing I want to do in this is switch from my SQLite database. So SQLite or SQLite, I don't know what you're supposed to say, is just a file-based database. So all the data lives in this file. And I actually want to use a database server. I want to use Postgres. And so I've got Postgres running over here locally. And then in a future stream, I'll be deploying and using probably Fly. They've got, I want to give this a shot. They've got some Postgres clusters, which is kind of interesting. And gonna give that a shot for this. So anyway, gonna get this on Postgres and get started on adding authentication. So what I want to do, I know that the first thing I need to do is just reset my whole database. And so you do that with Prisma migrate reset. And it's gonna say, are you sure you want to do that? Yes, just kill this thing. All right, that's gone. Actually, I probably just want to delete all that stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to switch my database to Postgres. I'm still going to use this env. And then in here, this is going to be, oh geez, I think it's Postgres. No, I think it's just something like that. Ryan Florence at localhost 5432. What port are you on? What port are you on? I can't believe they don't just give you the URL right there. 5432. I don't know if that's right. I think I have an old project pulled up. It is right. No, it's not. I did it wrong. Copy paste. There we go. Okay. I'm actually just going to delete this stuff. Get out. Get out. Don't need those. Let's see. Prisma init. Oh, I don't want that. Prisma migrate. I think you do dev or something like that. Name of migration. First. All right. Oh, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. This is kind of cool. So I should be able to see. Never mind. I don't care. Get out. Yeah, sure. Terminate. All right. So that's running. Let's see how my Oh, gotta start it. npm run dev. What is happening? Change the focus down to here, please. Ooh, project, test project, worked. Cool, works. All right, we're looking good. We are now using Postgres. Can you make the font bigger in VS Code? Yeah, I can make the font bigger in VS Code. Let me just get rid of the file thing. Is that Source Code Pro? Yes, this is. I love Source Code Pro. Love that font. Okay, time to get started on auth. That's like going to change my. I'm going to need like an author ID and stuff on these because right now they're all just in the database. I'm going to do the auth first though. So what will I need for auth? I'm going to need. Oh, check this out. Look at what I figured out how to do. Yeah, now I'm over there, over here. So I want my model. You don't want to see my face that big. You'd rather it was like that. I'm going to have a user, and then I'm going to have sessions too. I think I'll just keep all the session in the cookie for now. So model user, what are we going to have? We're going to have an ID. You know what? It's going to be just like this. I should probably be using like UUIDs on this, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. Email, that's going to be a string. And I guess created and updated, sure. And we'll put those under there. What else do I want on a user? It's really all I care about. I guess maybe like a password hash. We'll do that too. Now, I'm going to tell you all, I am not a database expert. I think about user interactions and screen readers and animation and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to goof up this data backend. So it's not a bad idea to use something like Auth0. But I want to do some research and stuff on authentication. And I want to get better at this kind of stuff. So that's why I'm going to roll my own. Nick, how's the font? Is it better? Yeah, I think that's all I want for now. We'll do that. So Prisma, migrate, name, I think you do that. Name is add users. Nope. Migrate dev, okie doke. All right. I should have a user table now. So let's go to app routes index. And this is, yeah, so this is going to be kind of interesting. So instead of just show, so right now my index isn't running. So this is like a dashboard at the moment for people who are logged in. And I still want that when you're logged in, when you have a session. But if you are not logged in, I'm going to check this out. So first thing I need are some sessions. So I'm going to add my session code. I'm just going to call this session.ts. And from here, I'm going to import, create, well, I'm going to get some help from TypeScript, from Remix, cookie session storage. And then I'm going to export, oh yeah. Then my storage is going to be create cookie session storage. my cookie. I'm actually going to go look at my own docs for this. I think it'll tell me some stuff. Ah, yeah, here we go. Here's all this stuff. Do like 2 weeks? I think I can do that. No? Let's go see what the docs say. Make that a little wider. Create cookie session storage. Yeah, whatever. Sure, we'll just do that. I'll add an age on it later. And now you know my secret. I'm gonna have to change that. I should probably make it an environment variable or something, so that everyone on my live stream doesn't know my cookie secret. But then you'll see it down here. Oh, you won't know it in production though. Let's just do that now. Process.env.cookie secret. What's your problem? Oh. Or oops. Should probably throw an error if I don't have that. Actually, that would be the right thing to do. So we'll say secrets are process env cookie secret. If we don't have secrets, just throw. You need to set a cookie secret environment variable. Spelled that wrong. And then we'll put the secrets in here. And because I'm accessing process.env right here out in the module scope, this shouldn't get included in my, I'm worried about it getting into my browser bundle and then like blowing up on this, but it should get, it'll get tree shaken out. Yeah, I don't have to worry about that. But I do need to go set. Oh, this env is out here. I'm not even doing that kind of stuff yet. I'm gonna do that later because I really want to show off the remix stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Luke helping me out here. You may want unique on your email field. That is true. I do want that. Do I call it? No, I just do like that. So I worked at a place where it was software for colleges and universities. And apparently a lot of couples, married couples, use the same email address, and they both wanted to log in with the same email address. And it was so weird. So you could have, we had users that used the same email address, so we couldn't do this unique thing. Anyway, it was strange, but we're not going to do that. Oh, so now I need to do another migration. Add unique email. If there are existing duplicate values, this will fail. Well, fortunately, we haven't created any values yet. All right. Thanks, Luke. All right, so now I'm going to export out of here. Actually, I'm going to get session, commit session, delete, destroy session. And then I'm going to, you know, let's get some help from Prettier. What is it? Max width, print width. 60? Let's see how that turns out inside of this little window. Yeah, there we go. How far is 60? Yeah, whatever. And I'm going to re-export all that stuff. So what I think is really cool about this stuff in Remix, that we've built session, like there's a lot of session abstractions out there for Express and Node and stuff. What I think is cool about these sessions is that they are designed to work with the web fetch API, our request and response object. So it doesn't matter if you're shipping to AWS or Netlify or Vercel. When we get all of the bugs out, of course, all of this session code and cookie code will work across all of those servers, which is a cool feature just all by itself. All right, so now I've got a way to do sessions. So, why is this saying it's not changed? And let's start this up again. Now I can go to my index. And let's turn this into, I'm going to just rename this to dashboard. And then I'm going to call this one index. And I'm just going to think about this logging in stuff all by itself. Export default. Let's get this back on the page. How we looking? Dashboard projects about. Oh, actually, no. Let's let's kill that thing. Put this back to index, and I'm just going to do this in my root loader. So my root route right here, boom, you are going to import your sessions. And we'll do get session, commit session. And in our loader here, I'm going to need this for all of them. But I want to change this header if you're logged in or logged out. So export function loader. I'm going to get a request in here. And then I'm going to make a function. I want to make an abstraction here called with user session. And I'm going to hand that my request, and it's going to give me a session, a user session. And a user session is going to come out of here. User session. Actually, I won't even need that type. That's just going to be inside of there. I'm going to make this all the way wide. Put some code over here too. And this file is going to be my session. Jacob, we're not doing any crazy inline ifs today, are we? I don't think I'll be able to write very much React code today, so probably not. All right, so I want to make a function here called with user session. What happened to my S? That's going to get a request. That type actually, we make this type global for you in Remix so that you know what you've got, and it kind of feels like the browser. Now, we aren't big fans of making stuff global, but for this we made an exception because it's kind of cool. With user session, so this is going to return a function. You see over here how we're using it. We're saying with user session, and we're going to return this because loader really kind of gets a request and then it returns a response. It's basically just it's very functional. It gets inputs, gives an output. This response isn't a real thing. We adapt that and then actually send it with your server. So this with user session needs to return a response. If you're not logged in, I'm not even going to call this callback. That's my plan. So with user session. So if we're not logged in, if we don't have a session, we're going to go to a login page. Otherwise, we're going to stay here, and then we're going to call this function, and we're going to return something. Let's just return the user session. I'm just going to call it session. Yeah, it's going to look something like that. So I'm going to get a request, and I'm going to get a, I'm going to call it next. It's like the next function. And this thing takes a session. And that's where my type is going to be, user session. and it is going to return a, it's going to return that. It's going to call next with a session. I'm just going to stub this junk out. And you know what? I'm not even going to type that. Just you figure it out. This is going to be, oh no, I do need that in there. So I can tell you what you're going to get. And that's going to give me a response of some sort. All right, fine. LOL, true. That's what it is right now. You don't like that? No. Boolean. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes it's not. Everybody happy? Everybody happy? You happy over here? No, why are you unhappy? Cannot find name with user session. Oh, I got like extra S's. What would we do without our tools? Right code is going under video. Ah! All right, here we go. You know what? I'm going to shrink my video. That doesn't need to be so big. Put it right there. That's what I get for trying to be cool. All right, everybody happy? Happy, happy, happy. What's your problem? User session is not assignable session, user session. Now let's bring in JSON from Remix. Argument type session. Type response is missing the following properties from the response. Trailer, form data. It looks like our types aren't quite right yet. So I'm going to bring in, you know what? We have a doc on this. If you're using TypeScript, yeah. That's what I want. Return type loader function. Yes. Let's bring that in from Remix. All right, so I'm just saying whatever the heck a loader function lets you return, that is what this next function needs to return. So now this should be happier, and I'm going to say export let loader equal. I wish that you could type a module. Boom. What's your problem? It's not the right type of request. Yeah, all right. Oh, that's right. I'm on an experimental version of Remix right now that we hurried and did before the live stream. I think this stuff is fixed out there in the real world. So this thing, we're going to bring in request also. And then everybody's happy. You're happy. You're happy. Cool. Okay. Got my loader. Let's use it. Use route data. That's never going to come from the right spot, is it? And then I'm just going to log it. Boom, boom, LOL, true. That's one fun thing about server rendering is sometimes you don't even have to go over to the browser. We got live reload over here, causing the thing to refresh automatically. Now I can just kind of see it down there. Okay, so I got all my plumbing together. So let's make some UI if we don't have a session. So what are we going to do? We're going to say let session equal null. We don't have a session, so if there's no session, we're going to redirect to login. I'm going to bring in redirect from remix. I got to return that thing, so we're gonna bail early out of this. Why'd we try to log in 3,000 times? Oh, because I'm hitting. Oh, wait a sec. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Because login is also going to call this. I don't want this. I don't want this up at the top. Oh, this is a little bit different. This is at the root. I still want to render. I don't want to redirect. At the root, I want to ask, do you have a user or not? If no, like it's just data. This is just like user session equals await get user session. And this is, I'm not going to call this with. I'm going to call this require user session. Oh, I don't want to rename it in here. I'm going to call this require user session. And then I'm going to have a get user session. Yes. And I'm going to need the request in here too, but we'll just not worry about that right now. And we'll return null. We don't have a user session. And this one, we're actually like trying to get the thing. Okay. Yeah, this is different than the index, but we'll get there. So user session, await get user session. Import this. Thank you. This is not an async function yet. And then, yeah, I don't want to require this. So I'm just going to return JSON session. You know, I'm going to have a different session possibly. So I'm going to call this a user session. That's what I want. And then, yeah, where is my document? Where's my links are all in here. I actually want to move these links up into my app. And this is only if I have a session. Do I have a session? Yes. Put the header up there. Cool. If I don't, put a different header up there that's like nav link, I don't know. Sign up. I don't know what we're going to do there. Deal with it later. To do. Order a sandwich. All right. So now if I have a user session, I put one header up there. If I don't have a user session, I put a different header up there. I'm not requiring that session. I'm just doing stuff. So we got a bug right now in our new compiler. It blows up sometimes if it can't compile, but we'll fix it. All right. Oh, whoops. Hey, there we go. Order a sandwich, sign up. Let's switch these things around and watch it go. Now if I switch this back to get user session, just be like, LOL true. I should get a different header. Yeah. All right, that's what I was after here. So we don't have one. And so now my index, what I want to do here, I actually don't even want to render this outlet. I'm just going to stop everything right here at the top. This outlet is going to render the index and anything beneath it. So I'm just going to put it up here, get a fragment in here, and say you don't even get to render child routes. There's no point. If you don't have an account, get out of here. Now, if I had other public pages, I wouldn't want to do this, but I don't. Like if I had a terms of service and that kind of junk. Yeah, no. Let's put the outlet back down because I'm going to want some other public pages. So now I just did this so I can like figure out what header to show. Now I'm going to come over to my index, which is, as we know, kind of my my dashboard. Oops. And this is the one where I'm going to require the session in my loader. So I'm going to just say in here, return require user session. Put the request in there, get the session out of it. Because this is the one where I'm like, you shouldn't even be able to see this page if you're not logged in. So put my request in here. Let's type this thing: export let loader function equal. Get our loader function from Remix. So we're going to require you. Now this should send me over to the login page. Hey, it worked. Cool. Oops, we don't recognize that URL because I don't have that URL. So let's make a route. New file, login, tsx. Whoa, you don't have a component. Default function login. And then we're going to have a form. Type text. Actually, let's get fancy. Let's call it email. It's required. Let's just be really explicit about everything. Let's say label. Put that up there. Email address. And then let's put that inside of a piece so that we got some space between them. And then password. Forgot HTML. Is it? Can I say pass? Is that what it is? Input type password? It's not like secret or hidden, right? Brain fart. Anyway, I think it's input type password. Does TypeScript help me? No, doesn't care. Name is password. And this one, name is email. Right. What? I have not used this email in 7 years, 6 years. Where did Chrome pull that from? Oh man, that's funny. That's cracking me up. I could do like the autofill or whatever, autocomplete, but I don't care. I'll leave it there. I want a little bit of styling. I don't want to spend too much time in this live stream on writing CSS because I like writing CSS. I'm just very slow at it. And on this app, I don't really want to bring in anything. Sometimes I like control to just barf CSS onto the page, but let's get some CSS in there anyway. So I'm just gonna copy this stuff, paste it in to import a style sheet for this. This is my login CSS. It doesn't exist, so this will blow up when it can't find it. So let's add it. And log in. You got it, you got it, you got it. Cool. And now watch the magic happen. So one thing that I actually think is kind of cool about, oh, Alex. So Alex also used to work at Instructure. He came in right after I left. But anyway. Not projects. Login. So one thing that's kind of cool about the way that we handle CSS, really most of the CSS solutions out there, when you ask them, well, how do you actually get the CSS on the page? That's when there aren't really good answers. Some people inject a style tag with like a string of JavaScript and shove it up in there, and then to server render that gets hard. CSS modules kicks out a bunch of files, and you got to figure out when to include them. What's kind of interesting about Remix, nested routes, and CSS is that every step of this hierarchy, like you look at the stuff over here, and we've got this kind of hierarchy of HTML that we also know is the hierarchy of our app. So this is our root route. And then once we get to this div, this is our outlet. And so now this is the login page. But if I switched over to like some other page, actually we could go over to like a 404 one. Now we're going to have different CSS on the page. So when you have those different bits of CSS on the page, you can be a little bit lazy with your selectors because you know they're not going to conflict with other routes. The only thing you have to worry about them conflicting with is the parent. So as long as you don't conflict with parent styles, you're good. Sorry, my hat's really bugging me. So I'm going to get super lazy on this stuff and just write some CSS that will make people cry. So I'm going to be like form. Because it's the only form on the page, right? So I'm gonna I want a little bit more. I'm gonna say I actually like to do this or do like an ID. Anyway, page. No, this should be a main. This is the main event. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, main. I'm only gonna have one of these on the login page, and the parent's not gonna make a main. Again, do not take CSS tips from me. I'm the laziest. So I'm going to put 1 rem of padding on here. Boink. But you have to admit, it is pretty cool that this main, it's not going to conflict with anybody else's main out there. Unless the parent has a main, but that doesn't make sense semantically. Oh, I'm not even showing my code. I'm going to quit messing with the camera. Let's do the good one over here. Where'd it go? That one. I'm not going to touch the camera again. Yeah, so there we go. Padding 2. Login. I don't know. Maybe we should just text center this stuff. Text align. You can see I've been doing some tailwind. Yeah, this is good. I'll style later. All right, so I'm going to log in with that one. Let's add a submit button. Actually, I hate that. I'm going to add a submit button here. Button type is submit, and we'll say login. So this is going to post up to an action. So let's put our action in here. Export function action. Yeah, that's right. I want to type this. Where are you going to bring that in from? Hey, yeah, that's where I wanted it. And async. get my request in here. Gonna get my form body out, new URL search params, because that's the way a form body comes in, as search params inside of the request text. You learn Remix, you learn the web. And then I'm gonna return out of here a redirect. And we wanna go to, I don't know yet. We'll figure that out. So now I've got my body. Let's get the email. Actually, let's do a little bit of, let's do some form validation. So I'm going to get my email from the body. You know what? Let's take a shortcut. Object from entries. There we go. So now we're going to have body.email. Maybe we're going to have body.password. Maybe we're not actually totally sure if this form. I really want to work on a way to like type this, because we're in the same file. This would be really cool in Remix if I could say, if I could have a type that like looks at the form inputs and is like, oh, you said name there, or email, and then could up here somehow know like, you're gonna get that out of here. I don't know how to do that though. That's gonna take a lot of weekend reading. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway, so I'm going to say if we don't have an email, I need a session in here. Get session request.headers get cookie, because that's where you store these things, and I want get session from. Oh, wait. Help me out, VS Code. Let's do this. All right. Get session from my session code. And so if I don't have an email, I'm going to say session.set error. You know, I'm going to build up some errors. I'm going to build them up. Let's do that. If I don't have an email, I'm going to say errors.push. Email is required. And then do the same thing for my password. Password is required. People are asking, could action be a generic type? That's a good question. So what's tricky about that is action function gets a request and params and a context, and all that stuff is really dynamic, which of course you could put into a generic here, right? But what we're really saying is I want, like, if I could say like email string, password string is kind of what we're looking at here. What we're really saying is this request looks like this. And that's a string too. And then when you do a new URL search params on that, now you're going to get a search params, and then you can do like a body.get other thing, email. And so now we're talking about object from entry. So really what we're saying is we're going to start with this request text that's going to be URL search params string. We're going to turn it into a URL search params, which can have multiple entries of the same name. And then we're going to turn that into an object from entries. And I honestly, like, that is way out of my TypeScript knowledge. To be able to say, oh, I expect this, and then it would know all of that kind of junk. So it would, anyway, I'm sure there's a way. I'm not the person right now to know how to do it. Maybe one day I'll figure that out. Okay, good question. All right, so now I'm going to build up my errors. I'm not going to mess around with my session until I'm done with my errors. I don't have a password. What do I actually want these errors to look like? Actually want to have like a, I'm gonna have like a code. Email. No email. Something like that. Message. Yeah, I like that better. No password. Oh no, I'm gonna do it on the field so that I can put the message right next to it. This is gonna be email. Now I've got more indirection on these strings, but whatever. And I'm gonna say password. Push my errors in. Got my session. And if errors.length, then session.set errors. And let's stringify that stuff. And so if it didn't work, I'm going to get out of here. And I'm going to go right back to login. Otherwise, yeah, I want to go to the dashboard if it did work. But it did not work. I know another error that I'm going to want too. I'm going to end up checking stuff. So I'm going to be like, let whatever, we'll do it later. Can't drop in the knowledge bombs. Get request body type request. Looks pretty good. Write it and send it to me. Okay, so here we go. Let's give this a shot. Let's not even send that. Oh, the browser's going to be like, ooh, please fill this out. So let's skip the browser validation. It's tempting to not do the server-side stuff when the browser is so nice. Did you know that you can do this? You don't have to do like the crazy JSX comment. You can just comment it out like that if it's on a multi-line, which I think is pretty nice. And reason enough to do multi-line often. I hope you can't hear my stomach growling. I forgot to eat before doing this. It's actually supposed to be a lunch with Kent, and I'm not good at my calendar, so I'm sorry. All right, so now I should be able to send nothing in here. Log in. Cool. Let's go to the network, see what happened. Everything. So we said, oh, I need to do a post. I guess that if you ever want to hack my old account, that's what it was over there. Yikes. Don't think that's my password anywhere else at the moment. You should use a password thing. So what did I do wrong there? I needed to say method equals post. And then we'll see this junk down here. This autofill is really starting to bug me. What is it called? Auto complete false, right? It's bugging me. What? It's still auto completed? Oh, geez. Whatever. All right, let's send it like this. Clear this out. Here we go. Post. Let's go again. Blah, blah. All right, so log in, we got a 303. So this was our post. And then, so we can see down here, the form body, we sent an email and a password. And then we redirected because we had errors. Session set, redirect. But I did not commit the session. So this is kind of a gotcha in Remix at the moment. But it's also kind of cool because it forces you to learn how sessions and how the web works. Like you go to any website and you come into like application and click on cookies. There's cookies all over the place. And a lot of people don't know how those work and how sessions work. And by just kind of using these APIs directly, without abstracting too much, you have to learn how to do this stuff. So you say set cookie, and we're going to commit session, our session in there. So now we should see a cookie come through in the network tab. This socket is the live reload stuff. Oh, boom. Thank you. Raphael. I'm sure I said that wrong. I'm sorry. I think getting names right is important. In fact, before like sales calls and stuff with people for React training or Remix, I always go to YouTube and like how to pronounce whatever their name is on YouTube. And there's awesome things, and then you can pronounce someone's name right. It's not that hard. Okay. So we made the post. We didn't send the password. So this thing sent a 303 back. I said, all right, we're going to redirect. So I should be able to see on here a set cookie header. Oh, that's my request right here. Boom. There's my cookie. So that contains my errors in it. So now I should be able to read those errors in my loader. So I'm going to say export let loader because it redirects back to this page. I think I'll get my request in here, and then I'm going to say let session equal await get session from request.headers.get cookie. Going to learn how the web works, and then we're going to return JSON session. Bring that in from Remix as well. Let's see if everything came from where I want it to come from. I want some of these to be types, not the actual things. All right. Oop, that's not where I want to be. Okay. There we are. So now I'm going to send the JSON session, the JSON. I'm going to return the JSON down here. Use route data, get you from Remix also, and now I've got a JSON. That's cool. I hate that. And I'm just gonna, let's just keep going. Let's just assume that it works. So if we've got session.errors.email, then we're gonna do, I hate it when forms bounce around when something shows up. So for now, I'm just gonna put this off to the side. And I'm gonna say session.errors.email.message. And TypeScript is, oh, I don't have specific rules, so it's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want here. I could protect it a little bit. Oh, hi, Pax. What's up, buddy? My doggo came to visit. What do you want? You want to go outside? There you go. Enjoy. Take a dump while you're out there so I don't have to take you for a walk. All right, looks like he's happy. I should have held him up to the camera. Let everyone say hi. All right, so what am I doing? So I got session errors email. I'm doing that. I kind of do want type safety on here. I'm going to add it. All right. Interface, login session. This has an errors thing on it, maybe. And then that's going to be an array. Actually, I'm feeling lazy. Okay, fine. I'll do it. It's going to have a code. That's a string. It's actually, this could be an enum, or we can just do a union. What did we do? What did I call it? Oh, I didn't even call it that. See, this is why I should have a field, email or password. We're getting serious here. Field is email or password. And then the message is just a string. And I'm going to say that this is going to be a login session. And then what else? Where else is my login session? That's a little bit weird for this. What did I do? Did I just set? Oh, my whole session is just that array. That's all I have is an array. Might as well just do it like that. Yeah. And then I guess it's just always, nah, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it up in that part yet. Let me say get session, whatever. I'm just doing it down here. I'll get even more type safety later. Oh, and now it hates everything. Yeah. Oh, see, yeah, because I did it wrong. What am I doing? Why did I do it as an array? This should just be an object. I'm going to make this way easier for myself. This will be much better. Yeah. See, I should have done this in the first place. Okay. Login session. We're going to have, I'm just going to make each one of these very explicit. Email error. String. And then I'm going to say password error. I like this better. Just be super boring. I might have it. Because I want to know on each specific thing. I don't just have this like weird unknown set of things. And then I'm going to have like actually I don't even have to worry about that. I guess this whole session is just errors. All right. I'm going to quit thinking about these types. And then this is going to be my errors. That's going to be my session. And I'll say that this is a login session. Errors, let's call it that. I like that better. There we go. I don't even dare look at the comments because I'm sure everyone's bike shedding what I'm doing down there, and I'm not going to sweat it right now. And so now we're going to say errors.email equals, yeah, I'm going to change that too. And that is just an error. Just make my life easier. Doink, doink, doink. That is much better. Oh, and now this is the part that's dumb. Object.keys, errors.length. There we go. Ha! And then boom. Boom, boom, boom. So now I got my type safety up here. And send that thing on down. Gonna send it here. I don't care about type safety because I'm not even reading it. I'm just sending it. Yeah, now we're looking good. Jake, that's a good question. Will this code be on GitHub? Eventually, yes. I plan to. I was actually just talking to Michael this morning about what my plans are with the work that I'm doing right now. Come here, bud. And talking about using the whole buffalo. So part of shipping a product with Remix is we need good documentation, we need good demos, we need online courses and education material and marketing, like showing people what Remix is all about. And so while I'm building all of that stuff, I'm just going to live stream a whole bunch of it. And this will eventually end up on GitHub as the full app with all the code. But then it's also going to be little pieces of it will be in the docs and going to turn it into like a nicely edited course and all that kind of stuff too. So yeah, eventually, maybe I should make like a repo where I just push all my progress each day. That's probably what you'd rather have. All right, doggo's gone. And then, okay. So this session is now actually just my errors. Do I even have those? Yeah, that's way simpler. I like that better. Wait, where's my password? Oh, I didn't do it yet. This one is password. Okay. Is TypeScript happy? Yeah, we got 0 problems down there. Let's see what happens. I thought that I deleted this password. Thank you. All right. We'll just hit enter on that. Whoops. All right, submit. No errors, huh? I should have had errors. What's it looking like? Oh, I just sent the whole dang session down there. So these session objects actually have like they have a little interface for like get and set, sort of like headers and flash, and that one will get deleted after the first time you consume it. But it also has this just data thing hanging off of it. That's just the raw stuff in there. And that's what I actually want to put in there, and we can see that it's the raw stuff right there. And so I'm going to say session.data.errors. All right. So I've got that thing, which is all just a string. Yeah, you know, maybe I don't need to stringify it. Yeah, I do. Okay. I'm going to do that. Sorry, I've changed the shape of this object around enough times at this point. All right, so get that thing out of there, parse it, send it. And so now this should show up as an object for me. Oh, and indeed it has. Cool. Let's so now this is like still showing up. I want to get rid of it after I read it once, so this stuff isn't sticking around forever. So instead of a session set, I'm going to do session flash, and then whenever you flash, you also need to commit it after you read it, so that it gets removed from the cookie. I saw there's a little chatter in the chat about, well, if you're persisting somewhere else, not just in the cookie, you don't quite have this requirement, and that is true, because it'll persist elsewhere. But since we're committing to the cookie, I need to persist this every time to get it out of there. Because, oh, now I'm not calling get. All right, then I will call get. And that is why we have the get and the set on it. Okay, cool. I think that should go away now when I do a refresh. Let's just start all the way over. Get rid of my cookie. Go away. Unexpected token U. Oh, because I don't have anything in there? What have I done wrong? Oh, crap. That's gross. We got to get our what are they called? Source maps done. Unexpected token 0 JSON. Oh, whatever. There we go. Because I'm saying JSON parse that stuff. It's because I picked a format that I gotta go back and forth between strings and objects. I'm gonna think of a better way to do that later. All right, so now there's no session. If I try to log in, boom, that set's required. If I reload, now it is gone. So that's what Flash is all about, is you say, hey, I only need these errors until they get read one time, and then get rid of them. So down here, I read them, and then I committed it, and so now the cookie is gone. No more stuff in there. Okay. So let's do this. Let's try a new one, rpflorence at Gmail. Okay, cool. So now that password, that error's there, but if I had errors, I want to keep this stuff around. I don't want that to disappear. That's super annoying. So, now I want to change this, and I want to have errors in here. And then this is now just going to be login session. Now this is going to be form values. Let's call it values. It's actually kind of the same thing. It's one of those things where you're like, should I do it by errors and values, or should I do it by email and password? Should I have like email and then like error and then value? And this is kind of stuff when you're new to programming, you think there's a right answer, and there's not. So you ask Kent C. Dodds, what's the right answer? And he tells you something, and so then you do it. Then you go to bed knowing you did it right. All right. Oh, that is a good one. You could flash email and password errors separately. Yeah, I think there's going to be like some other errors and stuff too. I don't know. I'm just going to keep rolling with this until I like really hate it. So I'm going to say, here's my session. It's going to have errors. It's going to have values. And what do you hate? Oh, I have it down here. Login session values. I'll just call it login session. It's not really a session. I've got all sorts of things that are bothering me at the moment. Body.email. I'm going to say login session. .errors.email. Password. Bop, bop, bop. Everybody's happy. Login session .errors. I'm going to put this whole thing in there. But I could just pull them out individually like someone suggested. I do. I like that. Okay. Okay. But then I can't type the whole thing. Yeah, I'm going to deal with the types a little bit later. Let's just do this. Let's get our session. If we don't have that, then we're going to say session.flash email error. Put that in there. And then session flash, same story, password error. I'm just going to check everything individually. And this way we can have like other errors too, like what was the message? This one is it's required, and then we can be like, oh, it needs to be 132 characters or something like that. Then we can say if yeah, then we just got that whole session. And then I'm just going to have an error flag. Errored. And then I can say, this is gross. Some people are going to hate me. Yeah, we got an error. We got an error. If anybody had an error, somebody really hates my code at this point, then we are going to stay here. Yeah, that's where we're going. Just stay here. I haven't used this session thing a whole ton yet. It'd be kind of cool if there was like a way to ask it, hey, do you have any error entries or something like that? I don't know. Can make a cool abstraction there. Let's keep it simple for now. All right, come right on back. And so now I can say, I can put their email in there, or the password. What do I want to do here? If we errored, that's what I want to do. If we errored, then I'm going to say session.flash email, body.email, and password. So I'm going to keep those things in there. Doink, doink, doink. Yeah. Now I can just send that on down. That's the whole dang thing. What's your problem? Jake, that's a good question. What does commit session do? In this case, it depends on the session storage that you're using. So I'm using create cookie session. So it actually writes it into the cookie, and then that gets stored in the browser. So it's all in the user's browser. But you can have we've got create file session storage if you've got a long running server. You can save it in files. You can create a custom. You can do a create session storage, and then it has some hooks, some lifecycle hooks of the storage to then go right to a database or something somewhere. Yeah, I completely agree with that. So our cookies are signed, so they shouldn't be coming through over HTTP like that, right? Unless I'm mistaken, Hugo. Am I wrong about that? And eventually, I'm not going to store all this stuff in the cookie session. I'm going to put it in a database, but I just want to get all the session stuff working first. So, yep. All right, so what do we got here? Why? I think I have like a syntax error. I just don't even know what I'm doing. Oh, what? There we go. We're just gonna check this out. Errors is not defined. Ugh. I changed quite a bit. I just want to see how it's looking. Flat. Oh, yeah, I don't want the whole data in there. Sorry, it's been a while since I've worked with this. So I'm not going to pull all these out. That's kind of annoying. I'm going to have to think of a better way to do this. Password error. This is what I wanted to avoid. There we go. Beautiful. All right, so now we can put our error messages back in here. And what did I call this thing? Session. We'll do the same thing for our password. Signed but not encrypted. If the cookie is HTTP only and secure, it's probably safe enough for most purposes, though, since it'll be encrypted and transmitted and inaccessible to JavaScript. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So over here, what we need to do is, so we got our secret, so it's signed. We got same site on there, HTTPS only. I know we have that. Secure, yeah, secure process.env.node.env equals production. All right, boom. Thanks, Hugo. Cool. Let's give it a shot. Boink. Yeah. All right, so let's put that value in there. We're going to use a default value, session.email. So it should just be like nothing normally. Blah, blah. Oh, wait, I want that to not be there. That's right. Oh, yeah, it worked, of course. I just didn't realize that it worked. Okay, cool. There we go. Password, blah. And we should get the heck out of here. So errored false. There's no email, no password. should go here, and then that hit our other thing that's like, oh, you don't have a user session, so I require user. We need to set that. So now we're going to say session.set user, and again, I'm just going to be like just foo right now. We'll deal with that later. I just want to get a session to make sure all my UI does all the things that I want it to, so that I'm only debugging one thing really at a time. So same site lax still protects you pretty well. The difference is if it's not lax, sorry, if it is lax, lax and not lax are pretty much the same thing except for that initial request. And so if someone does a get to your app from a different domain, so if like someone has a link on their website to your website, the browser will send a cookie on that GET request, but it will not send it for a post. Unless I'm wrong, Ben, let me know. But that's my understanding, is that lax is the same as not lax, or strict. Except for strict will say, even on the GET request from one page to another, we're not going to send a cookie. We're only going to send a cookie internally ever. But lax says, I'm not going to send a post cookie, because then people are going to be doing crazy stuff to you. But I will send the cookie on a GET. And that way, if someone is logged in already, I will get that cookie, and I want that. And since I'm not going to do any mutations on GETs, I should be safe. And Remix actually forces you into that pattern because your app will not update in all the right places if you do a mutation on your database in a loader, which is a GET request. So our loaders only get, our actions are the ones that get post, and our loaders are the ones that get a GET. So lax is going to send the cookie here, but lax will not send the cookie on a post. So as long as I do no mutations in my loaders, I should be good. But there's only so much you can know. And so I welcome correction on that. Now I lost my train of thought. Oh, that's right. We're gonna pretend like we have a user session in here. So, and then oh, and then my require user is coming back. So let's bring that back in. Oh, what do I want to do? I want to open up. No, I don't want to split like that. And then I'm going to bring in session. So over here, just to be kind of boring, I'm going to be like, all right, let's await. So this is my require user session. So over here in login, we said, all right, we're logged in. Everything looks great. We have a user. And so we're going to put that on the session. And so then when we redirect to slash, that's going to hit our index route. Our index route is going to say, hey, I need a user. Here's the request. And so now require user is going to get that request. And we're going to say get session from request.headers.get cookie. And now this needs to be an async function. And then we're going to say if session.get user, go to login. Otherwise, send that. I'm going to deal with this later. Everybody's happy. You didn't see anything here. Okay. Yeah, this session is not even going to look like that. Let's actually make it look like that. What do we want to say? Let's say, I don't even care at the moment. It's a string at the moment. That's it. Let's not lie. Let's just not be what we want to be yet. We're a work in progress. Okay. Session is all set up. This is all set up. LOL. Hey, what's going on here? Login 303, see other. I should have. Where's my set cookie? No set cookie. There's no set cookie on that thing. Oh. See, I told you, it gets tricky. I have a solution though. All right, now that cookie's gonna get set when I'm like, yeah, we got a user, everything's happy. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Clear this out, see how it goes. Oh, blah, blah. Hey, cool, no, never. Woo. Well, that was fun. Now it's time to make a little abstraction to make this stuff not so dang annoying. Or do I want to do that yet? Yeah, I'll do that when I have to mess with sessions later. Okay, let's go to our index and let's get some. Oh, actually no, let's go to our root because we should have a user session now. What did we get? What's it look like? User session null. Oh, that's right. So we still got this thing. Get user session is over here. That's right, because we just kind of stubbed this thing out. So get user session, we're going to give it a request. Let's get that from Remix. Oh, yeah, we already got it. And so we're going to return, let's get the session out of here. And let's return session get user, because that's what we called it over here in login. We called it user. I really want to spend some time and think about how to like get some nice type safety in all these places. Great. Right now it's just a bunch of strings that you got to get correct here and there. And then my root, get user session, you need the request. All right. Now what did I get? User session foo. Sweet. And we got the right thing up here. All right. Whew. And I'm just going to kind of review what just happened. All right, so the way that Remix works is it looks at all of your routes and creates a route config, including this top level route. So this counts as a route. And so route here is rendering our document, which includes all of our HTML and stuff like that. And we share some of that document with our error boundary, but we aren't really talking about error boundaries yet. And then this root route says, all right, give me the data. And if we've got a user session in there, let's show the logged in header. If we don't have a user session, let's show this header. And then it renders the outlet. And then Remix and React Router go, oh, you know what, I'm at just slash, or I'm at login, either way. And it's going to figure out whether to render index, login, projects, 404, or whatever. And so index is what's going to render by default when there is no extra path in the URL. So we're just at localhost slash. So it's going to render the root route, and it's going to render the index. So then our index route said, hey, I need a user session. Don't render me unless there's a user session. So what does require user session do? That's over here. Require user session says, I'm going to get the session, and I'm going to see if there's a user in there. And if there is not, then I'm going to send you over to the login page. But if there is, I'm going to, I guess I don't need to get that twice, but anyway, let's do that. So if I don't have a user session, otherwise, let's send it on through. So it grabs the cookie off of the headers, looks for the thing on the session. If we don't have it, go to the login page. Otherwise, continue on. So if we don't have it, then we redirect it to the login page. So Remix is going to send a 303, and then we are going to end up back at the root route because we rendered again. And so this loader is going to say, do I have a user session? No, I don't. And so it's going to render the same nav that it rendered last time. And then this time, the outlet down here says, okay, what matched /login matched. So it's going to render the login component. So now login component loader comes through and grabs the session off of there and pulls everything out of it. We probably don't have any of this stuff yet. And puts that in the cookie. Screen renders, gets the session, renders our page. We submit with this form with a post, and so Remix is like, oh, a post, I know what to do about that. I'm going to match the routes again, because this will post to wherever we're at. We're at login, but by default, forms will post to whatever URL they're at. So this posts right back to this route. Remix matches it and says, okay, instead of calling the loader, because this is not a GET request, Remix says, I will call the action. Because this is post, or put, or delete, or patch. It'll call it for these two. But HTML only knows GET and post. This stuff you got to use JavaScript, and we aren't actually using JavaScript yet for this interaction. So then the post comes through. We pull the thing off of there. I write some code that people hate. Get the session out. Put some errors on there if we've got issues. And then if we had any issues, then put those old values on so we can persist them since we're doing full page reloads at the moment, and then redirect. And so when we come back through, get the loader, pull that stuff off, log in, try again. This time we succeed. So we come back up to our action and we're like, okay, we logged in, we got the user. And then we're going to redirect to slash. And so now we're going to start over from the top. This time, root comes around and goes, I do have a user session, so I'm going to render this. And then the outlet says, well, I am going to render the index because we're at slash. And so then index comes around, says, I need a user. And so it's going to get the user out of there, and it will have a session. It's like, okay, cool. I will find your projects then for you. And then we render. It's kind of cool. Jigsaw, so it's kind of middleware. Kind of. What's tricky about Remix is we may call one loader, we may call all loaders, depending on what's going on. So we make these optimizations where if only one piece of the page is changing, we're not going to call every loader. So a require user in a parent route is not going to protect child routes, because we might only call that child routes loader when something is changing. Let me show that actually right here on this app. So if we look at the network tab here and I click on Remix, boop, you can see down here the XHR request. We made 2 for this list on the left and for this list on the right. But when I switch here, it only made 1 request for this changing thing on the right. So kind of cool. And so each one of these loaders, any loader that might be, or that needs the user, every single one of them down the tree needs to have this required user session. So it's not middleware, even though it might kind of feel like it. But required user session itself, yes, is middleware. Sorry, but the nested routes are not. Each nested route should have a required user if it needs it. I hope in a year or 2 we figure out a way to make the nested routes actually work like middleware too, where like a parent can protect the children. But at the moment, these loaders cannot protect their children, no matter how hard they try. No matter what they say or do, the children are going to just go off on their own sometimes. Been going for what? Hour and a half? I think that's well, let's do one thing. Let's switch this over. Let's switch this over to capital F form. Boop. From Remix. So now we're actually going to submit this thing with JavaScript. You know, I really should add a log out button up here, huh? Maybe that's what I should do first. But anyway, I'm gonna just kill this thing myself. Yeah, look at this mess in there. No idea what that says. Okay, so this time, check out what happens. I'm gonna hit login. So this actually went through and talked to the server with fetch instead of doing a full page reload. All right, so now that's gone. You can see my cursor position stays. So you know what's kind of cool is we could do a we could fade these in. I'm going to do that, and then we're gonna call it a live stream. So this is one of the things that I just really love about Remix is that it's about progressive enhancement. Everything we just did worked without JavaScript, and the point was not for users without JavaScript. That's not the point. The point is, I think it's an easier mental model, not just mental model, an easier model, because you are going to want to do this server-side validation of this form anyway. So if I am already validating this on the server, it's silly to validate it in the client also. Like, I don't need to do that twice. But then the reason that we started doing the client-side validation is because we wanted to like animate in an error. We wanted to, you know, give them a better experience than the whole page reloading. So this is what Remix is all about. It's trying to like mix these things. The old web that I fell in love with as a teenager back in the 90s, downloading pictures of Kurt Cobain, and sessions and doing stuff on the server, like validating these forms, which you have to do anyway. Even if like you use Auth0, they're validating on the server. Someone has a server that is validating this stuff. And then I want to be able to do the cool new stuff that we do with React in the client, and you know, something simple like animate in this error message. So check this out. This is this is going to be cool. Close that down, and I'm going to make a silly component called fade in. And our fade in component is going to get children. And what are you? You're a React node or something like that. And we're going to return children. Oh, what am I doing? And I'm just going to add a class, rendered or mounted, set mounted, use state, false. We have not mounted yet. Then we're going to say use effect on here. Going to get you from React. I could probably do it on a request animation frame. And then I will say set mounted true. And then you're going to be a span. I really don't care what you are. Class name on this. You know, I want you to be able to put whatever class in. Never mind. I'm not going to turn this into a big conversation about composition in React. I'm just going to say data fade equals false. If we're not mounted, don't fade it. If we are, fade it. Just to be safe, I'm going to do a set timeout first. And then I'm going to check if the request animation frame works. I think it will. Someone's going to be upset with me if I don't do this. Got to clean it up. All right, so now we should see this thing get like a data fade. And then let's go over to our login CSS. We say data fade equals false, true, and false. I want both of them. If it's false, we're going to say opacity is 0. If it's true, we're going to say opacity is 1. And then we're going to say transition opacity, I don't know, 300. And let's take it easy. Take it easy. Yeah. Data fade false, data fade true. Data fade, that'll be false, then it'll be true. I actually want that to be like a string, just to be sure. Otherwise React might just like put it on there but no value. Yeah, now I got my fade in. Let's see. Let's see. Nothing. That would have been cool if it worked the first try, huh? Data dash fade false. That should have turned to true. Whoa, what just happened? Let's check it out again. All right, so it's not there. Boop. Span pops in, data fade false still. Oh. Trolling myself. Didn't fade, but it did change. 300 milliseconds, that's right. All right, here we go. What? Do I just not even know how to do anything? Oh, faded out. Here we go. Oh, of course. I think someone just said it in the comments. See, I don't know what I'm doing. Boom. Data fade. You're going to transition no matter what. If it's false, you're going to be 0. If it's true, you're going to go over there. I don't want this thing to fade out. I want to just feel like, sweet, it's gone. So I'm only going to fade on when it's true, and then when it's false, it's just boom, it's gone. That'll be cool. Fade in, yeah, you see that? Let's since it's a live stream, let's make this thing take a whole second. Room. Gone, because it worked. Sweet. Okay, so this is wildly different than what happened before. Before, we were making full page reloads across all of these routes. Now, it was all just React doing these little state updates, which allows me to do an animation on that thing. If you don't think that's cool, I don't know why you're in this live stream. Maybe you just want to make fun of me. But this is awesome. So we have the very same programming model as just talking to the server, which you need to do that anyway for any kind of form validation. You need to be validating this stuff on the server somewhere. Right here, all this stuff, this validation code. There's no reason to write it twice. And with Remix, emulating what normal browser forms do, we're able to add all the cool bells and whistles that we wanted from moving that kind of stuff to the client. You don't have to move everything. And then we just progressively enhance. We literally, this is it. Before, after. We didn't have to change the programming model. We didn't have to change the structure of our code. We changed very, very little, and it's all stuff we should have done on the server anyway. I think that's pretty cool. And of course, if JavaScript is off, it still works. You still have the basic experience. But as we keep saying, that's not the point. The point is the simpler programming model. It's just a great bonus that it's a lot more resilient. And I keep hyping this too. You can use the Remix conventions with form and action and get IE11 support for your basic features. And then you can add all the cool fluff on top. It's not fluff, it's actually important. It's what makes products great for modern browsers. So if you got that weird client that still needs something to work in IE11, you can actually do that in Remix without, it'll take effort to make sure that like every interaction that you care about works without JavaScript. But we've given you the tools to actually be able to do that and still provide a cool experience here for other people where, stuff fades in and focus doesn't move and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I guess we can. I was thinking about maybe adding like an Aria live region, which is another cool thing that we can do now that we're using JavaScript to submit this form instead of a full page reload with accessibility going and user having to like get down to the error messages. We could use an Aria live region and update it and tell the user, hey, there was an error. In fact, maybe we shouldn't call this error fade in. We should call this error message. Oops. And then we can shoot. Yeah. Turn on voiceover. Turn on voiceover.
Okay, I turn.
Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear it. I'm going to mute the system audio. All right. So now it's talking. You see how I said both of those things? So I'd probably want to focus over. Turn off voiceover. So those are the kinds of things where I think JavaScript is actually really important for accessibility. We can make a way better screen reader experience out of this form when we've got JavaScript on the page with Aria Live regions. I can move the focus. I should move the focus to the first one of these that has an error on it. And then we probably don't even need Aria Live, actually. If I just move the focus, then what we would do, yeah, that would be better. Then what we would do is we can add Aria described by, and then email error. And then down here, I can put an ID on it. And then if I just move the focus to this thing after they submit, it's going to announce to them what the name of this thing is. And then it gives a little extra thing where it comes over to the error message and says whatever is inside of here. So I don't need the live stuff. We could do that without JavaScript. Well, you'd need a little bit of JavaScript. Anyway, it just makes it a whole lot easier to make a better user experience for everybody. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a stream. I'm starving. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna hang out here for a second, let some people drop some questions in the comments, and I'm not gonna address them right now, but maybe in the next stream I can get to them. So let's see if anything pops in here. Oh, my webcam died, huh? That's all right. Wonder why. My webcam just died. Yeah, VoiceOver killed it. All right, well, cool. Thanks again for joining me, and I will probably be back at this tomorrow. Maybe we'll add this screen reader stuff, and definitely going to go finish up what this user session, where are we at? What this thing actually looks like, and we're going to write into the database, encrypt the password, save it as a hash rather than as plain text, of course. So yeah, see you next time.